So I want to take a factor in with cloning. I want to have a look at cloning as well.
Yeah.
What do you think death is?
End of your body, isn't it?
End of your body. There's much of these cycles, yes? A lot of cycles everywhere. Why would death be any different? What if it's deep hibernation?
Maybe.
Does it mean that you come back? Yes. However, wouldn't this life thread that runs through everything have a resting period, a hibernation period?
Yeah. Just like everything.
And a purpose to flourish and rest. Flourish and rest. That's interesting. Would you think so? No?
Yeah.
It could do?
I do.
Do you think you'll come back the same every time? Identical?
No.
No. It's interesting. But the packets of life, the data, and therefore, once it wakes up, it has to remember. Interesting. How to mix this. But there again, you would ask a deeper question of what is it looking for?
Yeah.
Let's go a little bit futuristic. Just a smidge, right? How many years do you think humans have been dulling off potential in the species? How long do you think that's been happening for? A trend of going from bad to worse, to worse, to worse, shaving down all of the edges. A downward trend. And reverse that cycle. And how many others have gone to build themselves up? And not individuals. No, I'm on about species. Large amount of species. And then it could look like then that if these systems continue, then if it came to it, rather than there being underground bunkers, rather than you will be the collateral, while these will make a space program and bugger off. Probably demising all of the technology in order to stop people from lifting. That's a possibility, yeah?
Yeah.
However, that would then make you ask a bigger question before going, that you would need an answer to a question that's been burning deep in humanity for a long time, and the puzzles have been scattered around. One is, where did you actually come from?
Yeah.
How much do you know? And these are important questions of how much do you know? How much have you seen evolve?
Yeah.
So what do you understand about life? Life is judged only on your planet. And then you say that you understand life, how it works, how it operates and everything else. But what placed you, if anything at all did place you, because there's a vulnerability stage, and then how much of this life understanding do you really know? Or you just know that? However, widen your thought process. Now you say that, let's say all of humanity, there's a reason for all of this, by the way, everybody's important. Interesting. So let's just quickly widen the horizon. I'm getting there. It's a little bit tricky to do so. There it is. And let's say humanity leave and they start playing around with life forms, cloning, engineering life, binding shit together. You're already doing it. Ligers, lions, part tiger. You know, this is already happening. So that's engineering. Knock it up a factor.
Yeah.
Then you start engineering primates with humans, and maybe bear, part human. You know, think about it. Moving on. Intelligent life would do this. Almost sure of it. And you dot these on a planet somewhere, another planet, elsewhere. See, knowledge begins to grow. If you do this, you only believe in this. You only have eyes for this. You only see this. That's and your agenda to whatever it may be for a particular reason, which makes you really vulnerable. But we'll get into that. And that there is no other life out there. Humans are the only ones. All of this mold on this planet. If there's a mass extinction event, humans won't come back. No. Will the forests regenerate again? Fat chance. Take a look around. There's a difference between what's being said and what is actually happening. How much of it in Scotland is gone to not return? That's an interesting thing. So to think that that would all come back, it hasn't done in a very long time. And then it's been replaced with grasses and whatever else, you know.
Became different.
Move away from all of that and appear that in the middle of this nothing. Well, bits of everything, bits of nothing. Put it in the void. Fast forward, all that is. It's just bits of nothing. Anyway, so futuristic. Most certainly, if leaving the planet, what should we do? Collective question.
Yeah.
Hard for humans to understand this because we're so much in the opposite way. And to say that that is human, this particular type of behavior, is an understatement. No, it's the reverse of everything that makes you human. All of these collection of whatever it is, that's what makes you you. But then where did all of these collections come from? Other life forms that perhaps were engineering life. And that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Then that makes you wonder about intelligence. Or wait, something was existing before humans were even birthed? That's not a very comfortable feeling, is it?
Yeah.
Is that comforting? Is that reassuring? What about the fluke? Yeah, it's all a bunch of accidents. That's very reassuring, but then that's to say then all of this stuff came together as all a fluke. That's one way to look at it, yes. Okay, that's one particular branch to go off in. But it seems too deliberate.
Yeah.
Too many cycles. Too many repeating patterns.
Yeah.
That becomes behavior. Not accidental, intentional. And then that's a hard pill to swallow down, isn't it? That is an intention. That's intentionality. Then life starts looking a bit more like not an accident and a bit more intentional. Then intelligence. Well, that looks intentional, not accidental. And then it starts to build a different picture entirely. Now, can you physically align your humanity? Okay, you've got to think about it. Back in the day, there wasn't so many people, right? There was smaller amounts of people.
Yeah.
The pockets eventually become together, clusters. So with these few, look at what they were capable of doing when they set their minds to doing something.
Yeah.
It's definitely there. Now factor that in with 9 billion people. That if they collectively had an outrageous decision to put a greenhouse all the way around the moon, the whole thing, that's outrageous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could they do it? The answer is yes. Actually, this would strengthen space. This would strengthen rocket technology. This would make a need for it. This will drive a demand, massive demand. There needs to be a supply chain for it. This creates some very weird and interesting jobs. No guarantees, no blueprint, all trial and error. Lots of it's going to fail. Small successes, but those successes become monumental. Now, look at it again. Further that. With that, it creates a belief system. Fucking hell, look at what we can do. Look at how long it took. Set yourself an outrageous time limit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you go over it. No. So you remain close to it. Well, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Now set yourself on something else. The species then would begin to expand further under that understanding.
Yeah.
And now with all of this new creative stuff and technologies that are reaching places, what's the next project? You start to spin this plate here, that outrageous thing, followed by something else of living there. How dare you? There goes the plate. And they set about to do it. Not perfect, not without problems, but it begins to start to come together. This allows more expansion for humans. Now, let's just say that if we carried on with this trend, even on the Earth, think about what that could start swapping out the gases. Carbon monoxide, thing of the past. It's never about pollution, the environment going off to shape you. No. It's about then counteracting that. That's what our brains are designed to do. That's our self-defense mechanism, is to be born with a fast, hard link to evolution. That's sort of calculated. See, why is it doing it?
Yeah.
It does not want to sleep. By giving to you, it gets something. That's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, it starts portraying this understanding of God, which you might feel tricked about. But isn't it a blueprint teaching you how to become that?
Yeah.
Now there is a downside. Oh, there is a downside. Yeah, muchly. Can you choose to listen to it or ignore it? Your whole humanity speaks of this ignorance. How many senses have you shaved down?
Yeah, sometimes people say, oh, I have this feeling, or I feel this in my gut or something. But for them, they just call it feeling. That it's.
This is a handful of individuals that can do this. Did you know that? But it's far more who don't. And even if they were to talk about it, no one would understand it, because it's like, I have no idea, mate.
Yeah, and some people just feel something and they are like, I don't know what that is, and just completely leave it.
That shit is very, that's a self-defense mechanism. Why has that been shaved down?
Yeah.
Where have these beliefs come from? Now, let's say if you do make these primates and you begin to genetically engineer these to make a somewhat hybrid version of primates, let's say, where they begin to utilize that intelligence somewhat in the same way that humans did in the early beginning. If you were to monitor these, and they started showing signs, that's placement. They've been placed. What could you make them think?
Yeah.
Now, would you be jealous and allow them to lift up above you? Probably not. Or would you need to keep them below you, in fears that they might be too intelligent and might take you out? Therefore, we might need to hide, just in case this experiment goes wrong.
Be intelligent but wicked at the same time to get rid of it.
So there could be a load of reasons, and assuming that there is a lot of reasoning being done, if that is indeed happened to you. Now, let's put in a factor in another one. So when you've got multiple planets scattered out everywhere, you most certainly don't want the bad bits to start coming together, creating more of this.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there are coordinates of this one side versus the other side.
Yeah.
And do you want to be a black hole that stops all of these? Or do you want to be a star that amplifies these? But perhaps the best way is being in the middle, neutral. Which is order. Not too much of these, not too many of those.
Yeah.
Bit by bit, allow them to rise up. Or would you leave them? Would you weaponize their minds against them, these particular beings that you place?
I see.
You will be tripping out. Why? Because you'll have a whole lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Would you stack the deck against them? Would you understand how this life is affected around certain harmony states? Would you put in some traps that they call natural,
Yeah.
that if not told about in X amount of years, will wipe them out? Would you lace the chessboard, so to speak, with your insignificant little pieces?
Yeah, I see.
Teach a hierarchy. They say a house divided cannot stand. Yeah, much like a planet. Power's only given to a few, yes?
Yeah.
And if these few ever did leave, and off they go.
Yeah, and they are in a way not divided because they meet up, even if in front of the ordinary people they pretend they are enemies or something. They meet up, they communicate, they talk together. So they are not divided, but they divide all the rest of the people, don't they?
Natural division and artificial. Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Artificial into nations, into counties, into continents, into political orientation, into whatever. Religions, different ones.
Now, let's say you keep going with this, and let's say you're more advanced, or, anyway, they travel off on their own. If they're ever captured, depends on by what.
Yeah.
If you mean to say that a small amount of minds surrounded by a load of robots will be anything enough, in fact, you that were left behind would be incredibly safe.
Yeah.
Your body is your data, yes?
Yeah.
Bone fragments, whatever else.
Yeah.
Now, is it true that in the future humans could begin to engineer cloning? Now, what does engineering look like? Making clones.
Yeah, making clones.
Or whether that would be natural or anything else.
Don't know which way it will go.
The more the information comes in, the more it tells you that it's possible. The
But
more the
people
people are
will
born
try,
into that
yeah,
possibility, start asking questions, why is this not in us?
Yeah.
It must be in us. If everything else is going this way, how come we can't do that? And what's it all wanting to do? Now that's interesting. So nature doesn't want to sleep. It reaches for the sky, space, whatever else you want to call it. So it almost looks like they've got arrows pointing to it. It feeds you. It also is not stupid. It has self-defense mechanisms built into it. It's actually really clever, but it's slow. So it can begin to defend itself in a very unusual way. I find that fascinating. It doesn't go all out to war. And then it makes me wonder about toxic plants.
Yeah.
And why are they toxic to us? Maybe it was not taken care of in a way and the plant went toxic. Anything feasting on it, it would die and it would shut down that whole feeding process. Stinging nettles probably get more and more venomous. It would be interesting if these ever turned into trees. If you could genetic one of these to give it everything that it needs, fast forward its evolutionary process and start making that. That's engineered growth as opposed to cloning. But even still, if you got better and better at it, and indeed you were able to use the mirror image version, that is, one builds you, or builds a version of you. Mirror image. That's one way. Nature does it in a different way. It grows off smaller ones and these begin to grow. Now that's a fascinating thing. Now imagine being able to build a whole piece of a technology around that. And what can you do with these clones? Well, you can dial them down. If there is a link, and assuming that you find a link, the doorway, the sense. Because again, how much do you know? at the moment. It would be hard, and it's very difficult to imagine it, isn't it? If you can achieve a clone, that clone in that situation is going to be able to let you know a lot of data. Still won't believe it until it's your turn. Oh yeah, I feel what you're thinking. Paradigm shift. Everyone's got to spend a long time licking their wounds after that. Then this helps you strengthen this sense, which then perhaps changes you going forwards. Why? Because you begin to tune into it. Because this shows you where it is, creates a feeling. And then even individually, it sharpens the sense. Your senses, animal instinct, your instincts. Anything intelligent that can start engineering clones. Could you imagine that, having one piece of your data and being able to build a whole bloodline from it? Now, what happens if they're able to grow versions of you? And not only utilize this link for good. In the last videos, we were looking at good. Here comes the dark side. You can dumb it down, send it wrong information, interfere with it. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Would you do it if you placed beings down? And that would then mean, how intelligent did you get? How did you get so intelligent? Your age is beyond what the universe is.
Yeah.
Lights on, lights off. The winter, the long winter. And that'll be something to ask you if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. What if you could take every single piece of data from all humanity right now, put it into a machine? So even if you were able to engineer cloning and you follow this process and then you start to successfully do it and it starts to evolve more and more, perhaps it turns on naturally. In order for that to happen, this force has to feel something. And it knows enough to know staying on a planet is probably not going to be it. Living this one person on the top step doesn't work. Why does it expand? This type of capability running through many people. How many breakthroughs is that? And then it's the way it processes the data really fast. It's interesting. It keeps building until a sequence slots together, and then another sequence slots together, and another path slots together. All the rest was noise. That's a lot of calculations, which then gives you a clear visual memory to look into. Again, we're dialed back, aren't we? 2D world. And we've got these really great imaginations that if a computer, an AI system was balanced on the right, you just think this and it's already building it. It's creating a whole virtual reality around what you think. Story time would be very interesting. Wow. And then a sub version of this, if everyone could wear something, there would be a horseshoe shape. The main story building in the center. The imagination from someone pushing this into the machine. And then if there are kids around this, they have theirs. And it shows how they think on top of that cluster. What they think about seeing that. How do they enhance that?
Yeah.
And it gets layered up each year. And if you have a database that memorizes all of this, all of those thoughts, you know, because you've got the main thought, the individual talking, people imagine, and it runs off in a direction that you can't always see, right? It ripples off. It makes them change the way they think, where they have an outlook. all of those thoughts are relevant. But if they could see, what you think, which is the doorway into it, imagine something able to read that part, make sense of that data, and begin to build the image around it. This comes up on a hologram.
Mm-hmm.
And then what everybody else is thinking also comes up from that initial. And then other people see it, and it begins to transform and evolve into a very easy blueprint for everyone to follow. I mean, that's incredible, right? But you need a lot of time to do that. Now, that would be a fascinating world. And technology will get there. It's only a matter of time. If it's not already there, that's a journey. That's technology. Half this, half that. Interesting. But eternal life, pain in the ass, you can live it in two ways. One is in the dark. Warfare depends on what put you, what placed you.
Yeah.
To live eternity seems like the best idea until reality strikes you with a stick.
Yeah.
You have good and bad nerve endings, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So you can build whole concepts off with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that builds in bigger hierarchy. And therefore we have a expected path to walk, don't we? The expected one. And then there's one that's forked up. Could you imagine continuing on with this process and then engineering cloning, and perhaps it doesn't work for whatever particular reason, the universe begins to wind down and poof, it just gets to you but a bit later. However, you create a piece of technology in there that's able to rebirth your clones, but only at a given time. Therefore, a predictability of around this time seems to be very close. And it begins to collect all of the things that it needs. It goes in sleep mode. And it could resurrect you very quickly, couldn't it? At the right interval.
Yeah.
When it's unlikely to be any more life forms that are advanced. They're not here yet. Which gives you an advantage, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It makes you stronger, yes?
Yeah.
Although it failed, but it failed successfully. That's the sort of what-if scenario. And it works, then you come back. It doesn't, then this is going to evolve in a different sequence. So this then makes you ask a bigger question of what is this force looking for?
Yeah.
So if you're able to stay awake for all of that, have evolution full-blown,
Yeah.
with all of its calculations, and you could utilize that, and every human could utilize that. Man, that's impressive. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
What could you do?
A lot.
Everything else is autonomous. It supports you to then what? Build another chapter?
Yeah.
If you're a single person on your own, this is why community was important. Hunter-gatherer, you have to get your own water, your own food, your time is muchly consumed with what? Staying alive.
Yeah.
But then if you get together, while one is collecting firewood, essential, perhaps.
Yeah,
Another one is perhaps building shelter,
Yeah.
whilst the other one is fetching some water, and maybe carving, maybe this. You've got more time, then carving starts to take on, or something else, and then they're playing around with a little bit more. Now, if everyone's got this, we're going to go off and hunt. Okay, we're going to go and get this. Okay, we're going to build this. Okay, we're going to carve this. I gave the kids more time
Yeah, combination of tasks.
to learn.
Whoever has shorter ones can do more of those. Whoever has something more complicated takes them longer.
But then coming together make that part what? autonomous,
Yeah.
which allowed a little bit of free time.
Mm-hmm.
That's called out of survival, that is.
Yeah.
That's a guarantee if things continue this way, things are good. And interesting, on the day that they didn't come back with a hunt, they at least got something. But they could then all scout out. Yeah, that's an emergency situation. Probably made some very nice nights. Then they go off in clusters and go off and hunt. Then if they all came back with abundance and they got lucky, that became sacred. If they had all pulled back a piece of deer or horse or whatever was on the menu back then and all brought that back and it was successful, that's a traditional feast.
Yeah.
That means times are good for a number of days, many days. Which then meant that somebody else is a variable to help with collecting the wood, which got it done quicker, perhaps build this, that got completed. Then the shelter is built. That's even more time that it gives. Now you look at modern humanity, what does it need? Well, farming is lagging behind. It's still an artificial way, isn't it? Oh, an old way, sorry, a natural way. When we could utilize robots to do this.
Yeah, and farming is running in one direction. Everything is wheat and everything is this and that. People wouldn't mind eating something else, but there's very few of those options in any shop.
And plus, if you buy a packet of grapes, you only get one variety.
Yeah.
I think this is foolish. Your body is not designed to eat one variety of food constantly. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
What about multi-variety packs of grapes?
Yeah,
A
maximum
multi.
maximum we
different
see
strands,
R2.
different berry,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. Maximum we see R2, isn't it? Because one is red and one is green.
Yeah, but it's the variety of
Yeah.
what batch that is.
Yeah. And then with those small tomatoes, there might be different colors, so picked from different bushes. But other than that, everything is the same.
How can you have a different variety if they're the same species?
Yeah.
How is that a variety? How is that healthy for you? How is that good for you?
It's all the time the same, isn't it?
Do you think food works on immunity?
Yeah, as well. Yeah. That's why when you go on holiday or somewhere and you go and you can pick your fruit somewhere, like raspberries here, then you go somewhere else and there are blackberries and raspberries there. They might be different because it's in different area completely.
A road keeps children picking blackberries on a straight line, yes?
Yeah.
Remove the road and take the kids somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's multiple blackberry bushes around, okay?
Yeah.
It's quite safe. It's in a field. And off they go picking. Watch them. Man, they back from here to over here, to back over here, to then over there, to then over... Now put this on a wider scale, where you have freedom.
Yeah.
How many varieties do you end up with?
Yeah.
And before they know it, they can get also into a lot of trouble, especially if they're young, because they lose track of, you got your watch.
Yeah.
They lose track of where they were. Yeah. And the walk back, they don't remember it being as long as that. They got lost in this mindset of different variety. And
yeah, I remember that from going to collect wild blueberries in forest somewhere, and you go and there's many and many, and you can walk for hours this way, that way, and then you're like, oh, where am I? And
yeah, I think with this type of behavior in this aspect, it's not good. I don't think it's good for your health. And I also don't think it's very good for the seed in question either. I think this is very bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the difference. The multi-variety of... Because that would change slightly, especially if you get good at it, and make a cycle where these things can refill themselves and get growing.
Yeah. And if
without ever needing to be maintained. Not in that way, perhaps, to have this self-serve itself, repair itself, clean itself.
Yeah, and if you are eating different variety because it's from different area and everything, always the taste is nice, interesting, because it's not always the same. One time it's sweeter, one time it's more sour, one time it's more juicy. The same fruit sort of, but not the same batch. I don't know how to call it. Not the same kind completely.
Yeah, and I think they're done at different pressure ratios, many different varieties, and even still to be able to cycle on like that repeatedly,
Yeah.
that can support you.
Yeah.
You haven't got to worry about food, but we're going to try and build this. I think of this as an environment to live in. The thing can self-sort itself, rebuild itself, clean out any that come back.
Yeah.
Now that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you were focused on the, I don't know, how do you reckon that would affect humans? Just to sort of like, hey, we plan on doing this. Any yo one in? And then perhaps there's going to be loads of little projects that need to spin off from there. I think people might really enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
Do you think if you divided time more easier, so if you could have rather than an agency work, a work that allows you to be in multiple different places, 2 hours here, 2 hours there, few hours there, few hours here.
Yeah.
And then if you save 2 hours for yourself, whatever it was that you were doing, if everyone then put in 2 hours into one specific group, followed by 2 hours into this one, followed by 2 hours into this one, and then get 2 hours of work, what do you need in your company? Do you think you could build better, stronger companies this way?
Yeah.
Do you think then with all of these structures that then start building up everywhere from everyone's mind, it gets them thinking? The next generation are born into that visual. How far would that run away? That's already space ready, that particular. And if you can make the berries bigger by adding more pressure, they're living in optimal operating mode. Do they start cleaning more oxygen and carbon? Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe do they become bigger, more juicier?
Do they begin to purify the water that leaves? Either have it go through the system, allow them to sweat it, collect the condensation, and pump this back out and test it.
Yeah.
Which again, others could test that too, couldn't they? That's their thing. Water and testing and what grows in it and how better it is.
Yeah.
Is it evolving in time? Is it getting better? Can we aid this going forwards?
Yeah.
Standard water test versus this water test. Which life forms bloom? Which ones become more healthier? And then are we going to assume that if we drink this too, we'll become... You want anti-aging? Yes? That's amniotic fluid.
Yeah.
This is what protects the main organ on the body, doesn't it? During pregnancy, the delicatest part on the body, isn't it? The skin.
Yeah.
During this.
Yeah.
And the amniotic fluid is what keeps that in its state. Could you imagine making a synthetic version of this? And getting in it? Fully submerged, you'd need a proper breathing apparatus. Doesn't need to be a lot. I wonder what happens if you stay submerged in that for 24 hours and come out and then do this once per month. Anti-aging you want?
Or wash in it. Have a wash.
See, this is another thing, but that would be very weird, wouldn't it? Just, oh, your waters are broke.
No, make your own. Make your own with the...
What are you doing? Anti-aging.
Yeah, I'm sure some people use that. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
I mean, we're holding high margin for plants, aren't we?
Yeah.
Help my skin, will you?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that this life form knows your skin better than you?
Probably not. It has some properties that help, but not all of them, does it?
And it probably sounds disgusting, but, you know, I wonder if it's that supports the skin, that feeds it.
Yeah.
And then this covers baby afterwards, doesn't it? In a protective barrier.
Mm.
Antiseptic, antifungal. Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And then goes into... And they wash this off after a while, don't you?
Mm.
And then, here, lock it in with Johnson's. What's this? It's just oil. From where? A plant. Plants know more about humans. Okay, all right. Can I interest you in breast milk in your tea? Never mind.
No, thank you.
Cow titty? It is. You know what?
Or goat or sheep, yeah. Milk from those, yeah.
That's got all the best nutrients you will ever need. Breast milk. That's fucking interesting. That is really interesting, isn't it? Like that. This is the substitute for this. So that species knows your body better than you. It's fascinating, isn't it? That could be better for brain development, and this can, but not that. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how we've made it so abnormal.
Mm-hmm.
Bit like sweat.
Yeah. Sweat is not allowed. It doesn't look good. It doesn't smell good.
Yeah, I agree, but have we created that?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fascinating behavior right there, that is. So yeah, if life has most certainly accidentally risen up on the planet, that's interesting. Could you engineer a clone?
People are trying desperately, aren't they?
Could humans learn this in the future? Now, has it happened? Has it happened to you? That's a question mark.
Yeah.
Could you do it to others? That's also a question mark. But I think it's likely to be yes.
Yeah.
Do you think you could engineer animals?
They did try, didn't they?
I think, yeah, I think they...
that was Dolly.
I'm pretty sure
Dolly
governments
the
have tried.
sheep was officially known. That was the one that was cloned. But there was probably more that was different, but that one was popular.
And it's the way we treat animals, yeah?
Yeah.
Like confined pens and everything else.
Yeah.
And that's because why? Speciesism. And certain species are queens and kings of their categories, where the rest are just peasants.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I find that fascinating. Speciesism.
But it's also different in different parts of the world, isn't it? Somewhere you will see the cows in pastures and they don't have anywhere to go, just hide under some roof or something, and somewhere else they are confined in a small areas under the roof. And the same for horses, and the same for hens and chicken and other animals as well. Pigs, here they are at least in the fields. In my country they are not in fields.
Yeah, but it's how natural.
Yeah.
They seem to accept it. It's that part of it. It's obedience. A lot of it is obedient.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating behavior. Even humans have this inner obedience. Now, that behavior is very concerning.
Yeah. But
if you've been placed, has that been planted? And if it is, or has that been engineered? Before you put the life down, so first off, you make a load of experiments with some particular animals. Now, this is assuming you're doing this without the capability of cloning.
Yeah.
Let's say you do. You engineer. You see how it is. Okay, wonderful. And maybe you structure that down. Then you evolve a little bit. Maybe you'll make a clone version and this version, blah, 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 to see how this one under good conditions, under bad conditions, X, Y, Z. we have this natural ability to do this, and this is concerning because could you imagine being that to another species? Just as insignificant and very low down on a spectrum.
Yeah. I see.
Just to be caged and a food supply.
Yeah, but there are animals that do not accept that, do they? Unless you really like catch them and cage them or something.
Well, I think in some of the aspects of playing around or engineering animals, livestock, and different things like that, is to make a meat.
Yeah. Okay.
Is to make a meat that, well, you know, we engineered it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. It's been made for this purpose right now. That's one thing. And if that is happening,
I think they already engineer meat
where
in
else
lab.
would this? Yeah, because then if we've been engineered in a lab,
Yeah. So for some meat, there's
and
no
then
animal.
put onto a planet, placed,
Yeah.
then why have we been engineered?
Yeah, that's a question. Why was Eve made of a rib of Adam, and how did it happen? Was she somehow cloned or engineered, as you say?
Because then it would be to control them.
Yeah, sounds like it, doesn't it?
And then could you hardwire the brains? So perhaps you couldn't hardwire it, but you could clone it in such a format.
Yeah.
Get rid of the original because you would have the mirror image cloning, yes? Takes one version specimen and creates the other.
Give them inclination to something.
Kill this one off.
Yeah.
Engineer this one to be a bit more like this. Take another clone. Kill this one off until slowly but surely you've engineered the clone into what you need it to do.
Yeah, you can use breeding as well. Like if you look at dogs, how different they are. Some are like fighters. Some others will just follow something and bark. And some others will not do even that.
Well, in a type chamber of this understanding, you can feed it lots of sublims.
Yeah.
And then it should respond to those subliminal messages.
Yeah.
Make it trigger to the frequency. Then, therefore, what's that been engineered for? You see, there's a lot of reasons, isn't there? Like you could do this, and then how you look at things. You ever wondered if anything else could be looking at you the exact same way? And therefore, you don't panic about it because, we'll do it anyway. And then we delude ourselves with superiority. And then we're assuming that life is exactly like us, evolves this slowly and is susceptible and will definitely walk a path of this, where there isn't many, there's only a few. And let's say they have a mirror image of you. Do you reckon you could engineer further from there and make a image of the individual clones that are going here? And these ones are for predictability. Responses. They've had their intelligence dialed down. You've had yours amplified up. But these ones will respond. That's interesting, isn't it? And would you keep these clones with these? With the same clones that they are going to have, keep the generations going to, and then you can add these to all of your groups. And they should, like synchronicity, breed at the exact same time. That would be a fascinating experiment, wouldn't it? Could you imagine that, if that actually started to happen? And you would be like, whoa, it sounds like science fiction. No, this is, your universe is doing this. What do you think you're walking around on? It's quite a lot of it is synchronized. Isn't it wonderful? Do you think? Synchronicities? Pulse ratio? That's the only way that you could ever assume that other species are doing the same as you. Because you might be feeling that. And then are these other ones that, if they've ever done that, are they learning about themselves? What would be the game?
Yeah.
Is it a meat? No, probably not. Is it food supply? Obviously not. Is it a backup? An experiment? Information? If they've got the capability, you say it, and then it depends on how old they are. What's their AI like? Assuming that they use a version of AI, yes. So I think that most life forms would look at memory, because everything holds its memory. You remember to be this.
Yeah.
You also remember how to respond like this, in this, in this, in this. So that would mean that the water gas separation and everything else, it behaves as a way to remember its pattern. And it knows how to respond accordingly to those. So it also has a memory and an act.
Yeah.
Piece of information. It's not only been created, it's been told something. Yeah. How to respond in these aspects. And it holds that memory. But it's a similar memory to what's being planted over there. And there, and there, and there, and here, and over there. So something invisible seems to be whispering in the ears of those over there and these over here at the same time, and they both seem to be doing it at different intervals, but yet the outcome is generally the same, with the same memory, the same responses, the same information of how to respond encoded into them.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's pretty intelligent? Like the stars are like slipping bits of information in?
Yes, it is.
Trying to get it past the guards, being the black holes? And then everything has a pattern, or synchronicity mainly. Almost. Yeah, that's interesting. And if you ever engineer clones, woo. So yeah, looking in the light side of it, I was asking you about if you could engineer your clones, if you had clones and you could engineer these to be really great, couldn't you? Yeah. Or you could dial these down enough, take center seat, be able to respond with these. Essentially control them. So you're there, but not all of you is there. A protected version of you hides behind these. And they do your every thought. Sometimes with you out thinking about it. Then how many clones variations could you control in this manner? And all of that analyzing, all of that data. Could you imagine the system you would need for that? See, that's the thing. In order to create a system, that would take you a long time. But be able to create a system that can influence the main tool, being you. That's when you don't need a system. You are the system. Then factor in that you don't die. So essentially that means you do die, but not in the way that you know it. Lights off. No. Lights on and they get even fucking brighter. Why? Because you just learned something. And the longer you exist for, think about what you could do with your thoughts. Run with them. Yeah. See, thing is, with Einstein, if you could understand, if he had longer to exist, if he was a clone one after the other, do you know what the first thing would happen over X amount of millennia? His first thoughts will not be his last, or continued. they would have hypocrited these, but nonetheless, those thoughts led him to this current state, which then would put him on par. And this growing par level, because that's how you evolve, right? And then probably be ended up with like a billion's worth of theories of how not to do it, but a billion worth of theories of how to journey to that thinking, all very important. And that data will become more condensed, less jargon, but it will grow and grow. And it will begin to alter mindsets as you go. Which then help the stacks of everybody coming together to do the 2-hour ratio. Could you imagine then throwing that into it?
Yeah.
That this would then adjust those stacks towards an outcome of survival. And would it be rewarding in that aspect? Who knows?
Yeah.
But that seems ancient. The ancient way of humans doing things, and then it all changed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess that because that is the most oldest thing that is genuine, what you are, I'm going to say that that is a very ingrained belief action process. Because everybody's being rewarded and everybody is doing something. That is how your empires have grown off of that process of people already doing that. Times of Boudica and everything else, keep going back then. That is authenticity, but it changed. The more of this understanding with this stuff. The information has been twisted, whether deliberately or accidental.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that during reigns of mighty empires, they hold pieces of information and surround it with a load of fucking jargon. Every way to reverse the meaning on everything.
Yeah.
And psychology to make you reverse the meaning so that if you ever stole it, the true power, they say, is mine. I am the key. I see the lock. I have the information to know what is written.
Yeah.
To know how this is.
Yeah.
Belief. The real belief, which is empowering,
Yeah.
or a false belief that you planted, which then is predictable that you would go off in this direction, and therefore, if all of the information had have got passed down, but there was a murderous input into the pyramids where the information was not passed, this is why the empire fell.
Yeah.
Because they did not take the knowledge. So it was lost. When you see and you have it passed down, the information, it allows you to see the real truth. Which then feeds your belief system, which then makes you act powerful. It's interesting. Changes your whole belief system that everybody's believing something else that's wrong, incorrect. It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And if there wasn't that murderous scene, they would know then that if they were brought down by this belief system, and if they'd have stayed and it was true family that was passed down and there wasn't that murderous situation, the true ancient pharaohs would have reclaimed it. They had the information, the true wisdom, and they had that created that belief system for you to take so that they could conquer you again later by shattering it. But the information didn't get passed down because there was that murder, so therefore it never got passed. That's the power of knowledge. And that is when it's in a few that understand it. Do you notice then that how it can be lost?
Yeah.
And then you can become very disorientated with it. And then before you know it, a whole new society has been born. from nothing more than broken tools. Now, was that deliberate? You have to ask another question. But yeah, go back further than that, and it was all about this community building. Everyone took shifts, so some would spend a couple of hours collecting the wood for everybody. Some would spend a couple of hours hunting. Some would spend a couple of hours making. Some would spend a couple of hours of... which then freed them multiple hours after that. Which then they could focus in on helping. Therefore, they were multi-skilled. And then there is no leader in that. There is a leading force. But the direction starts to become the place where it should be going, where it should be heading to. It's an interesting process, isn't it? But it's there. Tribes do this. Now run away with that intelligence and build it. But it didn't. It changed. There's a change, a massive change. And goes on all of this separating and all of this hating and all of...
and all of the fighting against each other.
And then losing all of the information.
Yeah.
So therefore, it would have been an Egyptian way of knocking you down. Give you false information, you utilize it, and when they speak the truth, it crushes you and it creates an even stronger gathering around the true Pharaoh. Do you know that? But it didn't go that way, and then these structures stood. And look at what's been built off of it. My word. And therefore, in contrast, a better way of doing something is more purer, better, stable, common sense. What a deck stacker that is. That's huge, isn't it? And then where did all of this information come from? What beings that came from a sky? And you go straight into non-belief of that. Something happened. Enough for them to want to put it and write about it. Fuck knows what was in the ice. What do you reckon was carved into all the ice? You really think that humans left that? No, they sculpted that. Which probably helped the trees a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, even these days they do it for fun, but they can sculpt the ice. So why wouldn't they do it back then when there was much more? And probably much more suitable in places.
That was permanence.
Yeah.
And then it left.
Yeah.
And then there was a depression mode. And then all of this starts growing like you've never seen before. It all starts waking up. That's why you enjoy summer. That's why it's so powerful, is that? Years and years worth of that. So yeah, memories, beautiful things, aren't they? Imagine doing everything that you wanted to do that made you feel really good, all at the same instant. Now that's an interesting sort of, you can't process that. All of those things that would activate your mind. Did you know that's how nature feels every time summer comes around? It's almost like a collection of good moments added into one, and it wants to feel more of that.
Yeah.
So it wants to stay awake. It doesn't want to sleep. It doesn't want to rest. That's fascinating, and everything tells the story of this, but some are telling it in a way that, what, should we be looking at sleep or should we be looking at death? The punishment of staying awake, true awakening, yes, where you take birth and death with you, and you begin cloning naturally or artificially, it doesn't really matter. That would seem like quite the punishment, wouldn't it? You have to go through these transition stages, and if you don't like this, and there's no way to shut that out, that becomes a consequence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You would then, essentially, if this process carried on, die how many times?
Oh no. Many, many.
It'd be a collapsing awareness,
Yeah.
like deja vu.
Mm.
And it might not feel very good. Over and over and over and over and over. That becomes a season, doesn't it?
Mm. Yeah.
So then you would rope your technology around it further and try and jam the signal. Jamming it poses a problem, so you might want to filter it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could be jamming everything out. Can we filter this? Why, yes, we can. Can we infiltrate this? Yes, we also can. You would lead on to that? That would be an interesting experience, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Multiple deaths.
Mhm.
Now, do you think that's an easy task, or do you think that's going to be something that's sort of small nail, I guess?
Mm.
It poses a new thing for anything that dies young.
Yeah.
This is interesting, yeah.
Mm.
That never happens again. Because you keep going until the right coordinate come through. That's interesting, isn't it? From that moment, you begin to change a lot of things, and then life becomes incredibly sacred. What expands with you? And do you think that this force wants to remain awake with us, within us?
Yeah.
And then is that giving you life
Yeah. It does, doesn't
in
it?
order for it to get life too?
Mm-hmm.
Parasitic.
Yeah.
It's sort of like this. All right, I understand. It's like, no, it's more like this actually. Oh, all right, this is getting serious now. Okay, yeah. Psst, yeah? Look over there. Oh, my days, there's my bloodline. And that way. Okay, there's my future lineage. Okay.
Oh.
Are you going to be the little vessel that makes it? I think so. I'm hoping so. Good, 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 good. Shh, shh, shh. Do you think you can handle understanding what death is? It's sleeping. Long time. Could you imagine being aware of that shit?
I'm not sure I can.
No, you wouldn't like it, would you?
Yeah. Mm.
When reality strips away.
Mm.
Well, your ability to interact with it.
Yeah. So you just observe like something. You
And
are
there
there.
again, on the purge or the transformation from one, the purification process, is this thing going to build you next time? Is it going to remember to? Are you the ghost files?
Is it gonna build someone else from you? It's you, but it's not you always the same.
Are you the prince of how to or how not to? I mean, it didn't work the first time. My word, how many of these have you fucking got? I don't know. You can make sense of this data? I most certainly can.
Make something else from it.
Oh, what are you going to need then? How many planets can you make? This many? Nope, it's going to need to be like 50 times that. Done. Okay, that was quick. You think, yeah, and it happens. I mean, that would be an interesting sort of...
Yeah.
So yeah, everything here does not want to hibernate.
Hmm.
Fascinating. And do you know how it tells me this? Look how much it explodes! Look how much the growth just...
Yeah.
Oh, how do you do, fungus? Fuck me, 1 minute it's there, next minute it's everywhere. You're moving in? Yeah.
Yeah. I need to do it faster.
You know what? I just need some of this pipe. Mmm. And if I actually continued with these plants, it would be cloning every single windowsill here.
Yeah.
What, you fingers, yeah? Go get me a bucket. Now fill it with mud. Now a few rocks. Come on. Now put me over here. Okay, all right. Good, good. No sleeping for this one. So therefore, it must like it a lot more. Because it's got the choice to sleep now, hasn't it? It's got the choice to have a winter's nap.
Yeah.
You ready to, I got your little hat. What's that for? Man, I wrapped you up. All right, going to sleep? The leaves start growing like this. That's with a choice. So no, so it clearly likes something existing.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to probably compare it is like having one of these moments where you're...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll be able to grow with your experiments, build your experiments, tweak them, better them, expand your ideas. Literally, that's enough time to expand your ideas. Comes with a small price. And there again, let's say that you can't keep going with this. Could you slow those down? Could you put something in it that repeatedly dies? Could you put something in it that repeatedly is living, basically, which is the formulation of clone always moves around with birth, yes?
Yeah.
Do you think people are going to be engineering cloning just so that they can stay dead?
No. No.
But you might like it,
It's to be alive, isn't it?
I'm unsure. You're really mum's the word about this, aren't you? What comes beyond that? Well, look over there. There's a butterfly. Yes, lovely. Now, back to the point. Here's another 6,000 thoughts for you to have instead of asking me that question. Are you sure you can handle it? Well, I'm not really sure right now. But still, so it seems to gravitate towards part clone, this third structure.
Yeah.
Seems to be. And it sort of seems to spice it around with death dots. These are brief. The growing process from the clone is longevity. With these sort of more post sleep sessions, maybe. Start strobing as opposed to blink on, stay on for a long time, switch off for an extremely long time. And the winter phase is always longer. Anyway, interesting. Still fascinating. If any other life forms get hold of this, and especially if we fast forward where humanity are going this way, but also taking all of this stuff, you might build it for just death. Put something in a chamber to hit every nerve ending. It's crazy, isn't it? And to stay invisible, let them die here, but resurrect them as a specimen. Fucking brutal, mate. And there again, you'd probably fear something like that. But what happens if you were to spend, I don't know, 1 billion cycles in that? Forged in the fire. That's an interesting thought. This type of fire?
That's different fire.
Just be cloned to be very brief in existence at a capacity of, I don't know, you're fully aware at this age now, yes? Being cloned in that ratio, yes?
Yeah.
To be put into something, but at the moment that you are mirror imaged in this, you are then subject into the same chamber of many different ways of death, starvation.
Yeah.
Oh, you can keep going, can't you?
Yeah.
Decompression.
Yeah.
What about then stretching your perceived awareness of time? Seconds feel like hours.
Yeah.
And then how far can you warp your time? Because many different life forms have a different perception of time.
Yes, they do.
Hence why they're able to move a lot quicker. To them, if we were to trade places, it would feel no different. That's an interesting thing, isn't it? But viewing one another, there would be a lag, some sort of issue with it.
Yeah. Yeah, we sometimes as humans talk about like bugs and beetles and ants and little creatures like that. Oh, poor animals, they live one season or something. They don't live long.
But then to stay existing in your format and make its perception match yours, so it has a filter, this amount of perceived reality, and run it faster or slower. That slows you down. So at the moment, our bodies beat, do this, rah-de-rah, and we're very brief as beings. That's why we blink. Our brains are temporarily shutting down and firing up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether we will think of these peaks and valleys. Your heart beats, you're alive. Then it stops. And then doosh. That's actually a push-pull. Stop. Push-pull. Stop. There's an in-between stage. A neutral ground. Breathing in and out. And there's pauses on both sides of that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, yeah. Oof. How do you know that you're running at full capability based on what is orbiting, what pressure is needed?
You don't.
Based on how many gases, based on clearer immunity, based on this.
Yeah. You just don't.
Based on all the noise that's around you and you've taken out of those toxin ratio. What happens if you speed it up? What happens if you slow that down? That whole system. Does this alter your perception of time? We alter our own perception of time because we perceive it. So, is it possible to make some people perceive time in a longer dimension than it actually is? Or to make it seem faster than it actually is? So, birthday party, day goes by in a blip.
Yeah.
You're being punished for something. You're grounded in your room.
Yeah, that's
To anyone that
forever.
was...
Or at school being like ridiculed by the teacher or something, or have to stand somewhere in corner.
And it seems to take forever. Yes, that's time. Your perception of time has changed.
And then you go and the summer holiday runs quickly.
So therefore you can be subject to a load of behaviors that scramble your mind to perceive time in a slower state.
Yeah.
Which is a torture technique in order to get penitent, to make you do as you're told.
Yeah.
Now factor this into a cloning mechanism that's going to warp your perception of time in the same manner. And therefore, that means that it will be triggering your nerve endings. Your nerve endings are receiving information, perhaps. You're feeling something. This is triggering your brain to then warp your time. So therefore, there must be a frequency that can be trained back to the nervous system that, if touched like a keyboard in the right way, initiate a protocol of when you come into awareness of your clone, trigger that protocol off immediately as you're coming into the awareness. And then your perceivedness of time is going to be longer and going through an event like that before being mirror imaged again, perception of time enhanced further. Versus on which way this time? That's one. Could you really imagine pissing off life forms really bad? And they put you in a series of 50 chambers. 50 shots of awareness. Placement. We already do these punishments on a planet already. Now, was that taught? And then who taught it? Why teach it? And that's quite a dossier to give out to anything that would probably watch from a distance. It would go invisible, most certainly. Wouldn't you? You would be invisible. I would be invisible. Most certainly would be invisible.
Yeah.
Just in case the experiment goes wrong, right? When you're putting life on a particular area, what are you going to do? Fucking give them a massive sign? Welcome, we've been waiting for you. Start making the stars, strobe on the planet. Or would you hide up? Would you narrow their capabilities, their thinking? Narrow it down? Shrink it?
Yeah.
So yeah, having multi layers of humans, yes, out in space scrambles a lot. And therefore, if you ever were to go to battle with anything and you were to lose badly,
Yeah.
they get one piece of your specimen, just one,
Mm-hmm.
and that might be all they ever need.
Yeah.
And then is it from that specimen, can they find a way to engineer what type of timeline you're on from your genetic sequencing? Let's understand the pattern of how to build this. Do they understand that stuff like Mark Zuckerberg does code?
Yeah, maybe they understand it much better.
And then once you've written a few things, you can start to see some other. And then things start to, I know how I understand I understand how you did that too. Oh, and you did that. And everyone else is looking at you like, wait, what? I'm getting there. You're a fucking mastery at it. And most of them are that do code and stuff. Could you imagine other life forms finding pieces of DNA and be able to fucking backward engineer that to every single species? And then how long would they do that in? How big would it need to be? Could they shrink it? Could they make it bigger, smaller? If it's smaller, they already have dominance just in case it gets out. Put it into a chamber and then start tapping into the ones that they need. Well, unless atoms here are operating different to the atoms over there. Do you reckon?
Atoms probably not.
No. That's interesting. That's a shame, really. If they were all unique.
Don't know.
Yeah, but considering it's all... Yeah, that poses a problem. And that makes you want to ask a deeper question. We just rose up here.
Did we?
Well, that would bury the story, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Would you have those life forms rise up naturally? And there again, let's just say this is your first experiment, right? There's a lot of what ifs about this, yeah? What happens if those things outsmart us and then fucking attack us like we did? Come on, look, people will be coming together. Hopefully quite a few voices in that.
Yeah.
Everyone making a decision. But it could also be beneficial. Yes, but it could also be detrimental.
Yeah.
Should we even be doing it at all? Some people will. So for whatever reason it does, and it goes ahead. But what happens if this? What are your worries? This, and this. Okay, well, what happens if we construct it like this? Yeah, but you've overlooked this bit. What happens if they do? Well, what about if we just engineer it like this? Okay, but we'd have to test it first. I'm adamant that we test it. Fails the test. Fail, pass. Then can you evolve it to be on the cusp? Small pieces of a puzzle often lead to a very large picture.
Yeah.
Would you find life forms, take pieces of their data, build it up, and go through all of their memories? Assuming that they think the same, surrounded by the same amount of data. A lot of them will be intelligent enough to keep them in a torpor state, in a hypnosis state, and ask them information about where they came from. And how did that look? Well, there was lots of these green things. And as they're thinking it, maybe, who knows? It gives you a printout and they're like, right, let's build an Earth like this then. It's got to look like this. So like this. That tree needs to go over there a little bit. And can we put this tree over here? But it's got no needles. I know. I like the one that's full and I like the one that's empty. Did you just go and do it? Okay, done. Now the life forms come down. Wake them all up together from their hypnotic state, and off they go. Ooh, pieces of data. Ooh. Even the black hole is doing this, so don't worry about it. It's one of the best spies you'll ever find. Oh, what have you been doing? Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've got a crochet hook. It is. It's Nanny. Pulling out a dreadlock. You should cut those out. No. And then slowly but surely with the dreadlock, if you've ever had to remove dreadlocks where people want to keep their hair, but these dreadlocks have been in for millennia.
Yeah.
And you get to it with a crochet hook, you've eventually managed to unthread the thing. The hair's never the same. Never the same. And then after all of that, they then decide to chop their hair. And I was just like, man, this is just fucking pointless. This whole thing was just bollocks, mate. Why didn't you do that in the beginning? Anyway, even still, do you understand that? Sort of fucking, that's what black holes are doing. Oh, yeah, okay, got it. Next galaxy then. So the stars spit it in a way that the data doesn't get back as... Could you imagine surviving all of that? What's the one thing you would think would happen during that? Well, you'd make your own little environment in there. It's big enough. Illusion. Wonderful. What would you create? You would explode your intelligence, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, you'd have more than enough time to. Do you think those thoughts will ever stop, or do you think they grow?
I think they grow.
Yeah, you're always in this optimal operating state. Amplify that. Anyway, it would be quite a grower, but anyway, I was having a look at all of this sort of stuff because it's very fascinating, and being able to tell you one or the other with a definitive answer. Oh, and by the way, it will blow your mind if you want to get into spirituality and everything and say that this is the hand of God. Oh, man. Then God's technology is fucking great. He swallowed up quite a few decent fellows in his time. It sounded wrong. Well, still. In hoovering up the life forms, right? Could you imagine the technology, the protection mechanisms? Because any life form that was following this would then begin to understand that who else has done this? Who else is doing this? My word, has this been done to me? And God sits back like, yes. Yes, it has. They're learning, but they've gone off in a completely different tandem, a bit like you, but still. God, what's that big shiny thing? It's a crochet hook. I'm going to unpick all of your humanity. Good luck. Yeah, that would be an interesting way to look at it, wouldn't it? And bloodlines and this, that, and the other. So yes, you could be resurrected in multiple fronts then, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound reassuring?
Yeah.
Well, you could be resurrected by E.T., depending on whether you pissed him off or not. That would be interesting. And then, oh no, we need to save our bloodlines. They've already got them. Let's go get them back. Because that might dirty up your signal, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or it could be fucking enhancing it. I don't know. You believe things are forged in fire. So why are these fires, when it points to nature, very brief?
Yeah.
It's got the full capability of achieving this. Why don't you do it? Because of this reason. And this force is like, and I don't want to spend a life of servitude. All right, I get it. And me? Yeah, means to an end, Sonny Jim. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Do you think we are parasite by nature? Parasitic on a planet?
Yeah, we live from a planet, don't we?
Yeah.
Is there something that isn't parasitic though?
No, that's fascinating. Life is very much natural in that way.
Yeah. But more or less.
It's like they've all been making deals with one another, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, I'll trade you some of this for some of this, but you got to give me some of that for some of this. Oh, as well as some of that, what will you give me in return? Well, when I die, you know, I will be your nutrients. What do we do? Shake a branch on it? But that means I have to eat a bit of you. Yes, and that means I'm going to devour you as well. This is some fucked up relationship, this is. If you make it, so do I. That's interesting. And then nature's desperation to try and tweak the life forms. Its desperation to do that is what led for the creation of what? Enhancing minds? Right nutrients with a little bit of this, with a little bit of that, mixed in with a little bit of this. Well, these ones are eating this. Okay, what can I do with these? And again, making the planet so that you can walk out onto it. I mean, a lot of fucking scenarios played off, doesn't it? Very intelligent.
Yeah.
You lot, wake up. Nature God. And then it goes from that to something else. Oh yeah, multiple families. That would be an interesting thing. Anyway, but yeah, very futuristic for you, and do nothing. And extinction might be a good thing, as long as they never find a trace. And all the ones that are like, pick me first, look how great I am. They're all reconsidering that. I'm not sure this is a good idea. I never thought this way before. I know, it's brutal, isn't it? But have you ever considered? Paradigm shift, isn't it? But we're going to be resurrected by aliens and this and this and that and that. Yeah, but what if they like pets? What if they want to eat you? Because only the best will do. This is pedigree. A little bit inbred. Sorry, you know, I don't know. Perhaps they got a delicacy. You do it with fucking grapes, don't you? They do taste good, though. Makes a great wine as well, but still. We do this with a lot of animals, don't we? And we've got delicacies, haven't we?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the end of season. Life tastes so good when it's intelligent. Nutritious. Yeah, fuck that. Because it gets more and more clever the way that it goes forwards, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Shit me, man. Regrowing limbs. And then, would they even worry about how painful that might be? That's alright, you'll survive. It'll regrow in a few days. Oh, well, fucking thanks, I guess. Do you believe in stressing out food? Why is that? I hear that if food is stressed and chained up in this horrible environment, it tastes really bad. That's better for your nutrition. Have you ever considered some of my logic? Don't worry, everyone, I'll get you off of this ship. Interesting. Well, you should try it. I bet we taste better. No, this is not bad, actually. I think I've got a couple of feet to give you. I'll just be hopping around for a month, maybe, whilst it regrows. You see, there's a price that you would pay. And again, where's your logic in that? Think about it. If you could, if you have to kill the whole cow in order to get some cuts from it, or the lamb, or remove its leg and it regrows another one, is that not the best of both worlds? That's like fresh, and it's also still alive. I mean,
I don't know about that.
well, you're eating meat.
Yeah, I know.
So, long winter for this one. And slam it on, yeah. That's pretty messy as well, man. What you got to do with all the organs? No one eats them anymore.
Animals eat them.
Oh my days, that is weird. But even still, yes, they probably do. So you've got a large amount of waste, which inevitably is going to lead up to a methane creation. So this way would then be looked at as more ethical and probably a bit more wiser, perhaps. And it's not as cruel. We'll get the RSPB to certify that. Self-sealing. The thing hurts for a moment, which would appear to be the brief, when you clone, the death ratio. Brief. Discomfort, but it's okay. They get used to it. That's the best anesthetic I've ever heard of.
I'm getting scared a little bit.
You're getting a little bit scared. Yeah. But would we go that way if we could create the technology? That's the question.
You clone the whole animal and then eat it, rather than regrow it parts by parts.
Clone the whole animal and then re-eat it.
Eat it.
Eat the whole thing, lungs, brain.
Well, I like kill it and eat it instead of cutting it piece by piece.
Rather than it stay alive, you just remove what you need and it regrows back.
Yeah. This week you
It's a
don't
type
have
of glass that spills the drink, but doesn't break the glass.
Yeah, it's like this week you don't have front left leg, and next week you won't have the back right leg, and then you won't have an ear or something, and I don't know, it's so strange.
And then some other aliens look at that and be like, whoa, the fuck is going on in the earth? Look at this. You see what they're doing?
They can grow meat in a lab, so I think they will get much better in it. Instead of chopping off animal, they will grow just that piece. Don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea, but it's that variation again, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it going to be one particular?
I don't know if either is a good idea, but yeah, maybe it is.
I don't know. I think if you eat the same strain repetitively, I think it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Now, would you like to consider the meat menu? We have species from all over the galaxy. Oh, I like one of those. We'll go pull one out the tank.
Okay.
Well, you do it. Can it be done? That's another question. If you already do that, can it be done? We're just like lobsters waiting for it.
Yeah. Or pick your chicken or something. Or pick your lamb, and then they will make it in a...
Pick a leg, any leg.
Yeah.
Does that hurt? It does a little bit, but, you know. You grow into a world where that is normal. Or into a space where that's normal, you know. After all, they did do weird deals with themselves, didn't they? Before you become aware. Now, would you have made that decision yourself?
I don't know.
If you could go back and sort of guide life a little bit. Hey, maybe we want to play poker next time. And then do you think we evolved to become no longer parasitic? Do you think that's even possible?
No.
You don't think that's possible? Not at all.
You always depend on something. Even if you go to space, you still need light of some star or something now and then or something. Use gravitation to swing by to fly somewhere else or something. It's not probably like fully parasitic, but still there. You use something else.
Well, yeah, it's going to be pretty much like that. If you were to take these in with a very big protective shield around them, and again, it means going many, 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 many beyond this. And it's going to take a long time to sort of have a go with that. You're going to puzzle it.
Yeah.
And therefore, for it to unpack that information, it starts dissolving in a sense. And then it meets another hardened layer. And again, it's puzzled. What is this stuff? Can I? So you look like an aspirin.
Mhm.
But it has a time limit, you see? Because it's already triggered what it needs to reflip the cycle. A bit like the neutrinos come about at a certain time.
Yeah.
Hmm? By that time, it spits you out. Still not out of the woods yet, and then you're floating for a bit. Who knows? If you call it floating, it's funny,
Yeah.
isn't it? You're suspended in a fluid, it would appear to be. And then the whole thing begins to happen again. Begins to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, very mesmerizing as well. And then I'd ask something. If you could do this repeatedly in a guaranteed cycle,
Yeah.
over and over, cloning, this, that, and the other, perhaps you engineer it a bit better to that, so then perhaps eliminate death completely. Who knows? Would you ever do a natural lap around?
Natural what?
Become fully aware
Yeah.
of the darkness, the winter.
I don't know.
Experience it fully. Your perception of time. Ooh. And do you reckon you would end up not going crazy, but I don't know. Do you think you'd come back the same?
No.
If you think about it, when you trip out about the earth, yes?
Yeah.
You are on a carpet of greenery,
Mm-hmm.
floating around in the abyss.
Yeah.
When I say floating,
Mm-hmm.
because it sounds great.
Mm.
And if you zoom around away from that,
Yeah.
there are multiple death scenarios surrounding you
Yeah.
that it could all wipe out in an instantaneous blink or gulp or burp of the universe, and everything is gone. That's kind of fucked up, isn't it? Wouldn't you say so? And then what's the meaning? Well, after that, none. Squashed. Extinction was the meaning, clearly. Now imagine surviving all of that, and that becomes quite a worry, right? People probably zone out their minds on that, and they try and ground themselves because it becomes too. This is a brain getting into a upper gear. Anyway, now factor that into being inside this. The universe begins to change, transition, and you have to get inside that, knowing that if it ends, then what did it mean? Nothing. Could you imagine tripping out in that aspect where you, if you've managed to live that long with those feelings, have evolved those that you remembered first thinking about that when you come to your awareness? It's great being on the cusp. Because you have a transition from one to another, to another, to another. Which isn't that weird. The thing that scared you in the beginning, maybe, as a species, I don't know how that is for you to think about something like that. Does it make you feel a little bit antsy, a little bit the unknown, maybe?
Unknown, yeah.
Small?
Yeah, small.
That feeling. Imagine if you could live on now, as a clone, one after the other, huh? And you're about to enter into this, and you have that same sort of feeling. Maybe think about it. Will this work? Won't it work? And immediately your mind will jump back to that time of that instant.
Yeah.
And now that thing that once scared you now becomes a key factor of why it felt so insecure at the time. It became a grounding anchor that grounds you into the moment now. Because we already did it, already had this once before. What does this remind me of? And then what happened? Oh, it did, didn't it? So therefore, then you would start acting a certain amount of confidence with it, which would change you. You would shift from those moments because you would have inward inflection. And it would help you understand why that would have been such an antsy situation to be on, right? To feel that. And then it could make you look at death in a very different way. Asleep. Maybe a permanent one for a particular species. But the packets, the information, is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you could tap into that, and assuming that you could, would you try and put it together yourself?
Yeah.
Because maybe it would then be trying to age how long these cycles have been going on for, and maybe you would take it from trying to understand the life. How many fragmented pieces of information is here? That it's forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there would be many pieces of a puzzle, wouldn't it? How long have you been here for? Used to count in years.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you count in cycles. That's old, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. And one more great job that would probably be it from the future, if any of this indeed becomes true, and maybe you couldn't find life in the beginning but could make it easier, engineer cloning, and a part of you lives with them as an avatar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then you begin to learn life. Because you're in it. It's teaching you. You are the bridge between what you understand that to be able to translate that. That's an interesting piece of data.
Yeah.
The more different versions there are,
Mm-hmm.
which could then give you a power, couldn't it, to help it, make it more comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make it more harder too, but could you make it more comfortable? That's the question. If you could experience life from your same awareness,
Yeah.
however, have a different type of sensor added,
Mm-hmm.
which would be like in the moment of living like an animal, and part of you is there too, but also learning this data while being in with the animals and growing, while your active clones are getting on. This data comes over to you to understand it from the perspective of that particular animal and group of animals. Would you be able to understand their language? Is there a language? Will it sharpen your feelings? Can you learn animal instincts from animals by doing this process? Here becomes a lot of questions, doesn't it? If these milestones are achieved, it's going to answer a lot of questions already. Well, they'll give you a ton more. But it then begins to branch across these categories. Do you think that's where you can go as species? Where does it stop? Man, cloning. Ooh. And it's already happening. So it's already happening right beneath your feet on some aspects.
Mm.
And as it begins to engineer, if all of those constraints that hold it, the apparatus hold that, there should be no reason, if it was put in an indestructible layer,
Mm-hmm.
there should be no reason that that wouldn't continue on.
Mm.
And then by the time it comes around again and you collect this sample, it'd be like, how old is this?
Yeah. Very old.
And if it could talk, right? Anyway, right, I'm gonna probably leave this one here, but yeah, let's do that. So,
Yeah.